Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video, we're reviewing a Mazda CX-5 Signature. Before we get in this video, I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to the Tim Daly Mazda here in Southtown, Utah for giving me some time with this CX-5. I'm going to include a link to their website in the description down below so you can check out what they have currently. And then on a side note, if you want to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get into it. Under the hood, we have a turbocharged 2.5 liter four-cylinder that goes through a 6-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy is 22 around town and then 27 on the highway, with power outputs being 227 horsepower and then 310 pound-feet of torque. Now, before we move forward with this review, I do want to mention, if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. So starting with the hood, you guys can see flat there in the center, and then it kind of falls off a little bit on either side. We've also had this really cool headlight design, and then look at all of the chrome trim here with the Signature. And then we also have parking sensors here at the bottom. And putting it all together, I've always been a big fan of the front end style with the CX-5, but let me know what you think. Now, coming around the side here, our steering wheel setup is 225, 55, 19 in the front and over in the rear. And you can see with the wheels, you've got the metallic gray for the coloration. And then notice the fender flares are body painted. Same thing with the bodywork here on the side. And we actually have silver here on the mirror caps, which is interesting. And then here is your full side view with the CX-5 Signature. Now, taking a look at the key fob, we have our Mazda logo there on the back. We've got our lock and unlock function, the opening here for the hatch as well. Now, popping into the rear, we have a cargo net here in the back, and then we have these latches here to throw down these seats for even more storage. And then you have a spare tire underneath. So lots of practicality built into the rear here. And I'll put that down. When you're all done, just press that, and that will lower down the hatch. Now, taking a look at the taillights, really cool design, and then we've got all of our badges here on the back, including our Signature badge. And then we do have parking sensors at the bottom, and then look at those exhaust tips. And putting it all together, let me know your thoughts on the looks here with the Signature. Now, taking a look at the door panel, you can see soft touch here at the top with really nice stitching, and then look at that wood trim, and then more soft touch down below. Got our window control, and even the door handle kind of looks nice. Now, here are the seats perforated all down the center portion. Really nice fit and finish with them. Now, legroom here in the back is actually pretty solid. We also have a little storage pocket. We've got our own vents back here, and by the way, these are very comfortable to sit in. And also, I like the smooth texture on the outside. Anyways, headroom, it's good. Now, taking a look at the front door panel, you can see again soft touch here at the top, and then look at the wood trim down below, and then we've got our soft touch down below. All of our window controls, we also have our mirror adjustments. The mirrors do power fold in, and then you can see, there's a quick look at the mirror itself. Also a speaker for the Bose sound system. And then taking a look at the front seat, again, really nice leather trim, just like the back seat's perforated. All of our adjustments here on the side, also memory seat function. And look at that, nice finish on the controls. They didn't need to do that, but they did. Gas cap release, we got that for the hood release. Then open up the trunk, and then your camera system, and then parking sensors, and then your lane departure. Steering wheel's manually adjustable. Now, taking a look at the steering wheel, you can see soft touch trim all around. We also have paddle shifters there on the back of the steering wheel. We've got controls for our adaptive cruise control, our steering assist. We also have controls for the center stack as well. And then your stalks here on the back. Now, we've got Mazda Signature 3-gauge layout, and I like how you can see a bunch of different information there in the center. Definitely adds to the practicality. And then we do have our different drive modes. So we have a sport, normal, and an off-road mode that we can go between. This also comes with a 360 camera system, trajectory lines that turn with the steering wheel, and resolution with the camera system is actually really solid. And then we can also press that camera view button, and that'll pull up the camera system as well. Now, with the infotainment system, it is not a touchscreen. It's all controlled via a dial. It's actually really easy to use. I've lived with a few Mazdas as demo cars, and I can tell you there is a little bit of a learning curve, but once you get used to it, you get used to it. More soft touch trim here on the dash, and then also down below here. Let's get closer so you can see the stitching. Looks really cool. And you got more wood trim there. Definitely looks more like a luxury car than anything else. And then really nice glove box, good storage. And then we do have our dual zone climate controls. We also have heated and ventilated seats and a heated steering wheel. Also, wireless phone charging pad. Shifter there for the 6-speed automatic. Drive mode select right next to it. Parking brake with our auto hold. And then this is the controls for the infotainment system. Some cup holders. And look at the center console, USB, all of that. Nice padding here on the top. And then we do have a sunroof with this particular one. Control for it's just right there. So here's a window sticker for the CX-5. Again, this is a Signature. So almost everything is standard. We do have a few options in destination. Total MSRP after everything, $43,225. Let's see how it drives. Let's talk about visibility before we set off. Here's your visibility of the hood and hope you can see the heads-up display. Both of the mirrors. Both the rest of the rear, and well, a little bit more. There we go. Now we will set off in the CX-5 Signature. I want to do a review on the Signature because obviously we have that new turbo carbon something with turbo and carbon in it. And everyone's been talking about that. So I wanted to come back to the Signature because this used to be the one that everyone was going crazy about, and see if if the Signature is still worth it, or if you should instead go to the turbo carbon turbo something. So anyways, first off, tons of torque. Love this engine so much. Ride quality is good too. I just reviewed a Compass earlier today, and this baffles me. The Jeep Compass MSRP was like almost $40,000. And well, no offense to Jeep, but also offense to Jeep, like this is so much nicer for very similar amounts of money. And if you do the carbon turbo carbon, then you're like the same MSRP as what that Jeep was. So yeah, it's crazy like to see how different automakers selling different cars for the same amount of money, and just what you get and what you don't get. The value you have here with Mazda is just, it's astounding. And then also the build quality, like everything's so tight here with the interior. And again, it definitely has a luxury feel to it. Now, aside from that, yeah, right, like I said, ride quality is good. Seats are, you know, normal Mazda fashion. They're a little bit more on the narrow side, but I still think they're comfortable. And this leather is very, very soft, which is good. See kind of how this goes. Woo! This engine's all about torque. Yeah, and I guess I'll go back to that Jeep. Again, it's just fresh in my mind because I just reviewed it. That had 200 horsepower. This has 227. So this does have a little bit more horsepower. But the big difference is that had 221 pound-feet of torque. This has 310 pound-feet. And that's on regular pump gas. If you do premium, you get a little bit more horsepower and torque out of this. But yeah, it's just crazy the difference you feel with this. And the handling's so much better than that Jeep. Sorry, Jeep, but not sorry. Go back to the drawing board, do a little bit better. So, summing things up here with the Signature. I love how this looks on the outside. I do prefer the looks on the turbo, carbon turbo, a little bit more. And then the interior on this it's a little bit more upscale, but for me personally, like the interior on a base model CX-5 is already really nice. So, I'm not one of those people that's like, oh, you gotta go up to the Signature. Like, this interior is really nice, but for me, like I said, the base model interior CX-5 that's already nice enough. So, like I've said before with Mazda, amazing value, but I do think that the Signature has been dethroned by the turbo carbon turbo, lots of carbons and turbos. And again, it just comes down to, you know, the money, and then also just the feel. Like, this feels nice and the materials are a little bit nicer, but it's not like that, you know what I mean? It's not like way nicer. And plus, I mean, look at the, actually they're a little bit further down, look at the paint colors on that. It's like the kind of like, it's like a gold, bronze, tan, I don't know. Half the time I think I'm colorblind, but anyways, really cool color. So yeah, it looks good. But let me know what you guys think about the CX-5 Signature. Let me know if you'd get this or if you'd get the new carbon turbo.